Yeah, man, this how much dough I got out the hole from OVO. Just in case you want to know, yeah. It's the kid that did, not the kid that didn't. The reason why the sauce word was written. Brand new motherfucker, make it rank, make it popular. Hey, man, the man just dropped a whole new album, and every song was about me, baby. Had the whole going deep sea, baby. Yeah, man, I'm the nigga that he talking about on the song that was putting the bone on the bitch in the home that he was paying for. You heard what he said? Tricking on all the bills is how I sauce and spill. When I found out that you was fucking a nigga in the house I paid for, it broke my heart. That was me from the start. It's the kid that did, man. I got plenty of hoes. Hey, man, this ain't nothing new. This is what I really do, though. I ain't never took a loss on the internet yet. Lose. Hey, man, I got a brand new job.
So, did China McClain actually get pushed out of Hollywood simply for refusing to play by the industry's hidden rules? If you followed her journey at all, you already know she hasn't been shy about calling out what she describes as the darker side of the entertainment world, a side where celebrities allegedly face pressure to compromise themselves in ways they never agreed to, all for the promise of more fame and bigger paychecks. What makes her story even more interesting is that she isn't the only one who's spoken up. Katt Williams raised similar concerns years ago, and instead of being taken seriously, he was dismissed, ridiculed, and effectively pushed to the margins of an industry he once dominated, much like what many believe happened to China herself.
Just a game. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Not just, like Satan slipping himself in a little bit. No, full on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. And people are just like, oh, that's funny. We're making fun. No, there's a reason why the internet.
And to be clear, China McClain is no stranger to this industry. She isn't some newcomer going through a personal crisis. She was genuinely on track to become one of Hollywood's biggest young stars. She had the talent, the resume, and the momentum. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. And many people point to a very specific turning point, the sudden passing of her close friend and former co-star, Cameron Boyce. Around that same period, the CW series Black Lightning, the show she had been starring in, came to an end. And according to insiders, the cancellation wasn't purely a network decision. Rumors began circulating that China had grown deeply religious and was pulling back from the project, no longer comfortable with the direction things were heading. Now, theories about the entertainment industry having a dark and controlling underbelly are nothing new. People have been whispering about it for decades. But what made China's situation different is that these weren't claims coming from an outsider looking in. They were coming from someone who had been inside Hollywood since childhood, someone who had lived it firsthand. And that changes everything. When a person with that kind of experience and credibility starts speaking out, it's a lot harder for people to simply look away.
What I did know and have known, along with the rest of the cast, since before we even started shooting this season, is that I am leaving the show and was leaving the show. This was going to be my last season, regardless of if it went on or not, for different reasons that, to be honest, I don't want to go into. I just want y'all to trust me on it. There's been a lot to happen over this quarantine. These things are real. These people that are dying in the way of the world now. And all this is an illusion. It's an illusion. This industry, for what it is, and everything that people look to and praise, it's not important. God is moving me in more than one way than just this show. It's bigger than this show. I'm doing God's work now. And I'm not doing anything else. Just gonna put it plainly. I'm not leaving because I had a terrible time working.
Up until that point, China's career had been running on all cylinders. She was consistently booked, moving from one major project to the next without skipping a beat. But the moment her spiritual shift began affecting her availability and her willingness to participate in certain things, the people with power in Hollywood apparently decided they were done with her. By many accounts, her career didn't slow down naturally. It was deliberately stalled. And in response, China didn't go quiet. She started speaking openly about what she believed was happening behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. Now, let's circle back to what we mentioned earlier about Cameron Boyce. His death hit China hard, and she has never fully accepted the official explanation. The autopsy report concluded that Cameron died from a seizure caused by an ongoing epileptic condition, a diagnosis that was reportedly unknown to most people around him at the time. And that's exactly what China took issue with. She openly questioned the findings, pointing out that in all the years she had known Cameron, there had never been any mention of epilepsy. No signs, no conversations, nothing.
This is actually happening, I think. I think that my mind is just kind of shut down at this point. So I'm just kind of feeling a little numb, just like a little bit empty, like just going through the motions and just like, I'll never again have a friend like Cameron.
It was around this time that China began distancing itself from Hollywood entirely. She made a visible change, cutting off all her hair, and started showing up on TikTok with a very different message than what people were used to hearing from her. She spoke openly about feeling like God had pulled her out of what she described as a spiritually dark environment, and she wasn't holding back any details. Those videos stirred up a significant amount of controversy. The backlash came fast, and it came loud, with many people online taking issue with the way she was framing her experience. On top of that, her social media presence shifted almost completely toward her faith. She began sharing Christian content regularly and speaking about her beliefs with a level of intensity that not everyone received well. Part of the pushback came from viewers who felt that her messaging didn't just celebrate her own faith, but seemed to cast doubt on the validity of other belief systems, as if Christianity were the singular correct path and everything else fell short. Whether that was her intention or simply how it came across, it created friction with a wide range of people, and the criticism continued to build.
The theory of general relativity is what Einstein is famous for. In his calculations, he started to realize that the universe was not eternal. It had a beginning. Now this leads us to the law of causality. Everything that came to be needs a cause. Personal entity that is capable of existing outside of time, space, and matter. That can't be nothing but God. And for people that are like, okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God? There's only one God. But don't just take my word for it. Go look into it for yourself. One more thing. Evidence is not a substitute for faith. Following God is not a matter of evidence or proof. It's a matter of the will. You have to want to do it so you can have the peace that you're looking for. And if you don't want to make that choice, no amount of evidence is going to convince you to. You have to want to. I'm going to tell you a little secret. This building that I'm in right now built itself. Do you believe me? You don't? Why? Have you ever met the builder of this building? Seen the builder of this building? Do you know their name? If you believe someone built this building, why? And guess who else you can't blame? God. Because I've heard so many people say, no, I don't believe in God because he ain't never tried to show me no sort of sign. Really? How'd you come in contact with this video? Just say hypothetically for a second that God doesn't exist. I'm not saying that people that don't believe in God are not capable of living moral lives. I would never say anything like that. The point of this video is questioning what the foundation for morality is.
But the moment that really pushed things over the edge was when China decided to speak on Lil Nas X's Montero, Call Me By Your Name music video. And if you remember, that video sent shockwaves across the internet the moment it dropped. The imagery, which depicted heaven, hell, and Satan in a very deliberate and provocative way, sparked fierce debate. Many viewers saw it as deeply offensive from a religious standpoint, while others interpreted it as Lil Nas X making a bold artistic statement about his identity and the judgment he had faced for being gay. But China's response didn't fully align with either side of the conversation. She didn't challenge the judgmental Christians who were at the center of Lil Nas X's criticism, but she also didn't extend any solidarity to the LGBTQ+ community. The result
There's
was
a lot of
response
confusion
that
about
felt
the way God is
non-committal to
represented
many
by
viewers,
people versus
and
who
people
he
quickly
actually
accused
is.
her of
Comments
trying
like
to
the one on top
navigate
of
the
Lil
middle
Nas's
of a
video, they
conversation
often turn
that
into back and
demanded
forth
she pick a
conversations
lane.
about religion. Christians against the gay community or Christians against everyone else, when it's really not about Christianity or religion at all. The truth is that God exists. I don't believe in God because a religion tells me to. I know God. We have a relationship. Like I have a relationship with my mom, dad, my sisters, my brother. So when God is represented badly by a Christian or by someone that's been hurt by a Christian, it really makes me sad because it's not who he is. And that behavior also drives so many people away from getting to know him.
She didn't stop there either, going on a whole rant about how the industry intentionally pushes out satanic content to normalize it in people's minds over time.
Entertainment industry, it's about influence. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan, full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that.
But many viewers were quick to point out that China had fundamentally misread what the video was actually saying. In Montero, Lil Nas X is depicted being arrested, handcuffed, and dragged before a crowd who exiles him purely because he is gay. The people in the video scream at him and hurl stones in his direction. He is then shown ascending toward heaven, only to suddenly plummet down into hell. The entire sequence is a visual representation of how gay people are treated in the real world and what they are repeatedly told awaits them after death. It wasn't a glorification of darkness, it was a direct reflection aimed squarely at the people doing the condemning, and viewers felt that China had missed that point entirely. But here's where it gets complicated. Regardless of her take on that particular video, many people still believed she was on to something real when she spoke about the pressures celebrities face behind closed doors in Hollywood. That's a conversation Katt Williams has been having for years, and just like China, he was largely written off rather than taken seriously. It's a pattern that seems to repeat itself every time someone from inside the industry starts talking too loudly about what goes on behind the scenes. People either tune out, dismiss it, or simply choose to stay comfortable rather than confront it.
Have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the...
Now, what makes Katt Williams' situation particularly fascinating is that others have tried to do exactly what he's been doing. And the difference is that in those cases, the industry apparently found a way to quiet them down. Dave Chappelle attempted to blow the whistle, and many believe a financial settlement was used to bring that chapter to a close. Katt, on the other hand, has proven to be a far more difficult person to silence, so it appears that a completely different strategy is now being used when it comes to him. Jim Carrey is another name that comes up in this conversation. Someone who attempted to speak candidly about the darker side of fame and who faced his own set of consequences for doing so. Going back to Dave Chappelle, in 2003, he signed a landmark $50 million deal with Comedy Central to produce 2 additional seasons of his show, which was the highest-rated program in the network's history at the time. Then, in 2004, right in the middle of production on the 3rd season, he walked away from all of it and quietly traveled to South Africa. He eventually broke his silence during a 2006 appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, and that interview turned out to be a turning point for a lot of viewers. Many people who watched it came away feeling like something was off, not with Dave, but with the interview itself. Every time he attempted to redirect the conversation toward what he had actually experienced inside the industry, Oprah steered things back toward questions about his mental state. To many observers, it felt less like a platform for him to finally tell his story, and more like a carefully managed effort to reinforce the narrative that had already been built around him.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress. The situation where now everybody's taking credit for this and that and the other, it was getting ridiculous. And I knew I was gonna leave, so I got ahead of schedule and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So, this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know how these people be trying to control you. It's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane.
Dave took his point even further by drawing attention to something he felt couldn't be ignored, a pattern he had observed playing out repeatedly among high-profile black celebrities. He wasn't just talking about himself, he was asking people to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. He brought up Mariah Carey, who signed a landmark $100 million recording deal with EMI, one of the largest in music history at the time, and shortly after had her now infamous public